Mr. Kaujju, we know that in a week's time, the natural life of Umeme Ltd will be coming to an end. That's by Monday next week.
Yes.
So, at the moment, what are you doing as Umeme?
Yeah. What is happening right now is our mandate is still running up to midnight of 31st, and we are going on very strongly with what is expected of us. The athletes tell you that it is the last lap that counts. So we actually on our last lap, and we are doing everything possible to ensure that we live on a very good note, that we give people the service that is due. So we are operating normally. All our service centers, all the 51 service centers across the country are operational, and we are serving people up to that day.
We know that the Auditor General is trying to take into account what you invested during this 20-year period, but at the moment, you are still investing. For example, if a line breaks down in one of the areas of Uganda, you are injecting money there. How will this be tabulated?
It is true. The Auditor General is in the final stages of coming up with a final number for the buyout, but all this was captured and taken care of. And that's why even when Parliament was making a decision on the buyout amount, they said in the event that there is any overpayment, that money has to come back. In case there is any underpayment, that money will be topped up. So that is nothing for us to worry about. We have to worry about our service and going all the way to ensure that people get the service that is due to them. The model that we have been running here in Uganda over the last 20 years is that at the time Umeme came in, the network was thirsty for investment. Government needed to bring in money to invest into the network. That money was not available because of so many other competing needs for government. So they had to source for private sector, and that is why we say that money is actually recovered from the tariff. So all the money that Umeme has brought in, Umeme has invested over $800 million since we started. So there is money that has been recovered, but also there is money that is not yet recovered. You have to recover that money and pay whoever has given you that money. This money comes from banks, it comes from different associations. So it is not that all the money that we have recovered covers what has been invested. So what they call the buyout amount is the money at the point of exit, as per the agreements, that is not yet in the bags of Umeme, is money that government has to pay back.
Are you optimistic that the government is going to fulfill the buyout by 31st of this month? Because we know that the government has been trying to see that it borrows here and there, those stocks are still there. So and we know that if they fail, there are repercussions for this. What is happening? Are you certain now that buyout will happen by that day?
We are not worried at all. Like I said, it is important that we continue to trust each other. I mean, this is government. It's government that serves us. We have been operating for the last 20 years because government gave us the mandate. So we cannot have any ill feelings right now at the tail end when they have supported Umeme all through its journey. So we are confident that this money will come through, but also it is important that we go all the way to deliver on our part, and we are quite committed to do that.
How much has Umeme invested in these 2 decades?
It's been a very interesting journey, having started way back in 2005 when we had only 250,000 customers on the network. If you can say 250,000 people or Ugandans that only had power at that time. But right now, we've worked again with quite a number of people to ensure that as of 2025, we have 2.3 million customers on the national grid. So we have expanded the network over time from about 20,000 kilometers to over 70,000 kilometers of electricity network in Uganda.
We're talking about slightly 2 million customers who have been connected to electricity. And this number looks so small compared to Uganda's population, which stands at 45 million people. Why is this the case?
Electricity distribution is very interesting, as you all know. Power is generated at the dams, transmitted through the mega lines, as you see, to the substations, and then you distribute from there. Said yes, we have a population, let's say, of about 47 million Ugandans, but we have connected about 2.3 million. This is not ideal in terms of where we should be, but we think it's something in the bag, something to build on. Even when we have only 2.3 million customers, the beneficiaries are almost 10 million. This is a good start it can work as a springboard, and all the efforts that government and partners have put in. That's why we are talking about World Bank coming on board to fund a scale-up that for only 41,000, then you can get more people applying for power. The other thing is that power can only come to somebody who has wired their house. And it also depends on the ability, the financial stand of these people to be able to wire their houses or their premises so that power can actually be delivered. I think that we may not be exactly where we should be as Uganda in terms of access, but all these strides are being undertaken to ensure that we can have as more people on the national grid as possible.
Finally, as you transition, what is the number of the personnel that you have been employing who are going to be taken on board by UEDCL?
What we have been assured of is that at the beginning of this entire process, the government had indicated that they would absorb as many people as possible. So this exercise is actually still ongoing. I know that they will not take on 100% of the people that we have. But I mean, it's an opportunity for those that will go. I know that some people have already received their appointments, but also the exercise hasn't ended.
As head of communication, you must
Yes.
be privy to some information,
Yeah.
exact numbers in terms of percentage.
Yeah. I do not have the exact numbers in terms of how many people are going to be absorbed by the company that is taking over. But for sure, I know that they may take up to about 90% of the current staffing of Umeme.
I should have also asked you whether you are among those who are transitioning to UEDCL, but that's the question for another day. We want to thank you very much.
Take me out for a cup of coffee.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.